In this part of considering of what we learned in about interior one-point perspective, we want to design a bedroom, which one side open to a terrace and it got a lot of details. Usually it's better for designing this type of a space to use pencil, but you can also use rapid. But pay attention closely. Your line's thickness must be at its minimum, which means when you're lining, put a very small pressure on your pen in order to design your room's cross section. For example, your lines are so thin that later on you can add a thickness to it. I will start from this cross section, a very simple cross section. I will put myself in the room where I need to stand. You can rotate the page very easily in order to connect my lines to the vanishing point and my lines to be very precise. So we will not be too sensitive about rotating. Coming back to where I was, and we'll start editing details that we want. First, I want to add a false ceiling to my room, so we can learn how that can happen. So I will move this part of the room to the vanishing point, and I will start dividing here. Look, two horizontal line. If you consider the middle and do a diameter, we have the next distance, like this. We'll repeat it and the next distance. I just need to add a thickness here to show my roof beams. Coming back horizontally, we can add it to the depth even more, to here. Again, I will send it to my vanishing point. Very slowly and like this. And as you can see how we got our ceiling. I can add a hatching behind our beams, so my frontal area is separated from the back side. And as you can see, we separated the top side from the bottom, and it's really interesting. Now what we want to do in this bedroom, we want to consider one side as a bed and added details from that side and added a terrace to the other side. In order to get our measurement, we've learned to consider a height of a person, draw alongside the line like this, and 1/4 of the height can be the height of our bed. We will do it with pale lines so we can edit it later on, like this. We send it to our vanishing point. Don't worry about extra lines, just do it very smoothly. This is my bed, and next to it I want to design my sideboards. So we've separated two parts as our table, and we just added them. Coming down, send it to vanishing point, vertical, and we got this. So we can design a lantern on it. We can edit the details of our bed later on that we did this. Let's bring that up a little bit. And above our bed, I can make it go inside a little bit. And so this area will help me to move the bed inside the wall. On this wall I can use another material. So this will happen like this. I can add my pillows here. consider an area for my blanket. Look, I will send the corrugated parts to the top. And this is our blanket. We can give it a little height and add some stands for our bed. So I'm hatching underneath it. This part also. We can add a little height to our table. Connect it to the floor with some legs, and let's design our lantern. I will get the height, send it to the vanishing point. We got to make the box first, and then we have it. As you can see, we can add a little hash to it. Send it to bottom, and I will put it on my table with 3 legs. Send the same thing to our vanishing point, and above that part we'll repeat the same process. Maybe we're not doing it super accurate, but this is the general idea. Let's add some horizontal hatch in this wall. We can even add the headboard in this area. In order to do the headboard, let's divide some parts. And then what we'll do, we do it vertically. So it's all simple, because it's not super accurate. Shouldn't have done it on the pillow. So we use curved lines to make it feel more depth. And we added a headboard in this area. We can do the same on my bed also, to add a little design on it. So we did this. And next to it, I can make this part a little more cozy. And add a console table here. The height must be a little higher. If you consider the height of our guy there, and 2 part of it needs to be the height of our console table. I'm drawing the lines so we can see the end. Look, we placed our console table over there. We can use it for any other thing. It can be a makeup table, and for that I will design a chair here. Bring the back side to the top like this, and it can have its own design and movements. Anyway, we do it very simple and place it right there. We can do a mirror on our table, but in front of it we can add some more details like this. And then added some reflection and some areas in the room. So in general it can happen like this. We can add the stands. The stands can come up like this and turn. And we can hatch it with 1 millimeter rapid lines. But we do all of them with the same rapid that is in my hand, just tuning our pressure. So let's add some more detail to it. So I designed the chair, this area. Now I want to add my terrace. And in order to edit our terrace, we can close this part, or we can turn the whole area into terrace. Before you do that, we can divide this to 3 different places. Continue the end of the room like that. Added some highlight to it so we can see the profile better. And behind that, we will continue the lines and close it. This is our horizontal line, and we come up like that. So we'll bring it up as half of the height of a person. Add it to the thickness, and we've created a terrace here. And in the terrace I can make a table. So as we've learned, it should be half of the person's height. So it can happen like this here. I can even add a chair here. Because it's a little far away, I will just darken it a little bit. We can put another one on the other side. Like this. And in order for it to be better, I will do my flooring. In line with my vanishing light. Put a carpet here. From both sides, send it to my vanishing point, to the lines here, and underneath our bed we do a little highlight. And we can add some details to our carpet like this. Some design on it. So what we'll do next is I can continue the lining. So I will even use the same flooring from a terrace. I will turn my page to increase the speed of my hand. And as you can see, we have our flooring. I can add like some separation lines to check my sizing. So we've created our flooring. So here, if we do vertical lines, it shows the reflection on the floor. So I create the top area. We made the bottom a little darker, and see, when you added these, you give depth to your area. in your design. Remember, in editing detail, spend a lot of time on it. And don't skip editing details, because details is very important. And if you spend more time on it, your work even will be seen better. I can add little trees behind my terrace. You can see the trees from terrace. We can even do the horizontal line to show what I can see with my sketch. And if you do hatching on my wall like this, and first separate it, we can do the same on the other side. Divide it first and do a little hatching to fill your area. And divide this area also. We can send that area a little into the roof, a little higher. Send it to the vanishing point and do a very small hatching. That will give us very good depth and make the area more alive. And even if you do some more lines and do your dividing for each bar and add a couple of lights there. And like this, you can even show your ceiling. If you want, we can hatch our walls, or we can just present it like this, and it can even be considered as complete. We can add some colors in our perspective, or it can just be presented like this, with just a couple of lines and hatching. Let's get our highlights. We consider one side as a shadow, and compared to that, we'll do my highlights. These highlightings that we do, it really has a big effect on my work. Look, these will help us to make our design to be seen better. We can add a little dividing line in my wall to separate some area. This will make our design more interesting. We can even add some painting on the wall. So we added a painting over there. You can even add some greenery in some part of your room, like a little flower pot here. Just like this, we added our pot here. As you can see, it's really important to see all of the details in your design. So I'm working on my flower pot, and we place it very close to us. And as you can see, details will help our design to be seen better. And as much as detail we're editing, we can even do more details on it. So as you can see, I did my shadows, and as you can see, they're very important and giving depth to our design. So with adding some stains of color, I can color this design. But I prefer to do it very architectural like and just added some lighting to my design. You can show the lights in some areas and put more emphasis on it. Because this area, when you have more light, what happens is they have more shadows. Because when you have a light, you need to add shadows also. Here the same. If you got some light bulbs, we can add some lights. So I can see an area like this. And you can add some stains of color in different areas as a reflection. So let's move to another color. I can use C series of color or B series of color or MG series of color. It's a very simple and natural light. Really good gray color for this area. I will use MG number 1. Oh, it was empty, so let's move to C series of Q color marker. Because M series and C series of Q color, they have almost the same outcome and color. Look, I'm doing my lines, sending them to my vanishing point, do my flooring, again in line with my vanishing point. Because I'm using one color, I'm not using brown anymore. But if we were doing a couple of colors, I would have used brown also. And also don't forget to add some reflection. And as you can see, we are giving depth to our design. I can also use a complementary color. And the good part of the color that we're using is that we can use it everywhere. You can use one color in anywhere. But the yellow color that we added it is, I think it's enough, and it got enough to say in our design. Maybe we can add just some green to our greenery to give our greenery a better shape. And as you can see, it can make the area a little more alive. We can add a white color on it also. I will not make my design very crowded. I can use a red color next to my green, a touch of red color on my pillow. Could be nice. And if you want to make our bed a little bolder, we can add some red on the side. I try to not make it too crowdy. Even though that I'm doing this, I prefer to not make it too crowdy and do it with just a couple of simple colors. This red color can make it a lot more alive. And next to it we can do some shadows and highlights. When we added our shadows, it can give us a very good quality. Let me find a good color for shadowing. I can use C series number 8. We can add some shadows with sharp lines. And remember, whatever you do some dark colors inside it. I can do it for my sands. Don't be afraid to use dark color. With just a couple of black stains, we can really make this area alive. I can show this work with black really good. And the areas that are not being separated from each other, just a couple of black stains can separate them really easily. And as you can see, when I'm editing black, my details are being separated much better. This bed can even be like this. Like this. Even our carpet. So these things that are happening can create a texture like this. So we could create an area with all of these details. Now if I want to add more details here, I can use white color. And in areas that I think are not being seen really good, I can add some white color to make it more clear. So don't limit yourself and use anything that will enhance your end result. Again, this is another really fast sketch that we did with some good detail.